Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I wanted to go through my current settings with you for the newest Call of Duty Modern Warfare. The reason why I wanted to make this video for you is because with the most recent update, which was about a 7.5 gigabyte update, I noticed that my gameplay became very hazy and cloudy. It just really wasn't the same as it was before the update, and I knew that something in the settings had to have been changed. So recently I went through all of my settings and I thought that I would make a video for you so you can see the settings that I have that I feel are currently optimizing my FPS and are really making my gameplay more enjoyable. Before I start, I just want to let you know that a lot of these settings are personal preference and they do have a lot to do with your current PC build as well. Now, when my PC was first built, I would say it was a medium to high-end build. My PC currently is about 3 years old, and I would definitely say it probably needs an updated CPU, but it is still a very, very good PC. So I will leave my PC specs down below in case you're curious on the settings that I currently have for this game compared to my PC build. And then I highly recommend that you base your graphics settings or your settings in general for this game off of your current PC build. Now, let's go ahead and get into it. So for keyboard and mouse, so if you click on this first tab, mouse sensitivity is the first thing that you'll see. My mouse is currently set at 400 DPI. I always play every game at 400 DPI. And so my mouse sensitivity that I have in game is 12. Now I believe, because I have not changed this, that this is the setting that the game automatically prompts you at. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I have not changed it and I have not had any issues with it. I'm currently enjoying the 12 sensitivity. I do recommend that you play whatever sensitivity that you feel that you're playing the best at. And also there are external websites that you can use to identify the best mouse sensitivity for yourself. Now, aim down sights, ADS, you have the option of doing relative or legacy. I have heard of some people using legacy and really liking it. I just use relative. This is what the game comes standard with, and I'm completely fine with this. Again, invert mouse look. This is completely a preference. I have mine disabled. I've never really seen or heard of people playing with an inverted mouse, but I know people do it on controller. I just have this disabled. Make sure your mouse acceleration is at 0, mouse filtering at 0, and mouse smoothing, make sure this is disabled. As far as all of the other tabs, movement, weapons and equipment, kill streak, and vehicles, interface and audio, I have not changed any of these settings whatsoever. This is complete preference whether you want to tap or hold on each of these and what you want your keys assigned to. I haven't changed any of these. I'm completely okay with all of them. Again, personal preference. Let's go ahead and move to the general tab. So field of view, I have seen some people with 100, and I believe that the game starts you at 100 for field of view. I have recently gone in and changed mine to 120. I just want the full screen that it allows as far as the gameplay. Brightness, when you first launch the game prompts you to adjust the brightness until the Modern Warfare symbol is barely visible. I have mine set at 49.03. Apparently that's what it was. I haven't changed it since, and this works fine for me. These two for the HUDs, complete personal preference. I have not changed them whatsoever. For skip introduction movie, I highly suggest that you have this enabled. It kind of is backwards in my opinion, because when you have this enabled, it's actually disabling the introduction where it's like the really loud Activision comes up and it like blares in your ears and makes your ears bleed. So you are disabling that in the beginning and it helps launch your game faster. So go ahead and enable this. It'll come standard disabled, but you want to have this enabled. Tooltips I have enabled. I haven't messed with any of this. I have heard that there are some pretty good colorblind settings, so if that's something that applies to you, or you just like the way that colorblind settings look on your game, you can, mess with these to see what you like. As far as text chat, profanity filter, and dismemberment and gore effects goes, I basically have all of that disabled. So disabled or enabled. So I have text chat disabled because I don't really care what people are typing in chat, especially for when I'm streaming and when I'm creating YouTube content. And then profanity filter, again, enabled, which is, I don't need to see what people are typing in chat. And if they are typing rude or derogatory things, I have that enabled to just completely avoid that. And then dismemberment and core effects. I have heard that if you do not have this disabled, you have the potential to have your YouTube videos demonetized if that is something that you're doing, if you're recording content for YouTube. So make sure you have that disabled. The only thing that I have enabled here is my FPS counter, which you can see in the upper left hand corner. This is all, again, personal preference on what you want to have enabled and disabled. As far as the graphics setting goes, I'm sure that's what most of you are here for. This is basically the reason why I made this video. Look at this left-hand picture. It was looking very similar to this. And when I had first started playing the game, it was looking very similar to this. And so I, with that new update, I was genuinely confused on why the quality of my resolution had gone so bad. My recommendation for the render resolution is 100. I think when I came into my graphics settings after the update, this was all the way down. Like it was on 70 or like 70. It was like on 70 or 80 or something crazy. And it made the resolution look terrible. So my suggestion to you is to have it on 100. You can always do it higher than 100. Again, this depends on how high-end your PC is. But just keep in mind that the higher that number is, the higher the quality of image or resolution that you're going to have, but that also could affect the performance of the game itself. So just keep that in mind. As far as advanced goes, the only thing that it shows here is that you have a locked display resolution at 1920 by 1080. Aspect ratio, again, this is complete preference. I have mine on automatic. I know a lot of people like to play at 16 by 9. Completely up to you. I highly recommend VSync. Just keep disabled. Custom frame rate limit. This is basically where you can either have your frame rate unlimited or you can go into advanced, and if you hit custom here, you can set it to 144 or 60 or whatever you want. So for NVIDIA highlights, I recommend that this be disabled. If you're going to be using something to record your gameplay, just use OBS. You don't really need NVIDIA GeForce experience running in the background. And then this is, again, all personal preference and kind of and I would just make the decision based on what your PC build is. If you have a lower end PC build, you can have most of these settings just low and disabled. Again, personal preference. So most of mine I have low. Bullet impact I have enabled just for the sole fact that I like the way that the bullets look. Disabled, low. These are something that you can kind of play around with. I have them enabled right now. It's doing fine for me. Low, disabled, and then again, everything off, disabled. As far as audio goes, I really haven't changed too much in audio, just messed with the volume a little bit. I still have mine set on home theater. Master volume I have set at 20. Music volume I have set at 10. I know some people have a preference to have this off. I guess it kind of depends on what kind of headset that you have. I have Astro A50s, and I found that having it at 20 works just fine for me. Dialogue volume, again, another personal preference. This is the volume that your operator in-game will be speaking at, and I believe the other operators too, so like enemy and stuff around you, you can hear them. It can be helpful, but it also can be a distraction, so kind of up to you. And then effects volume I have still at 100%. Another thing that I will say is I do have voice chat enabled, so again, a personal preference, but I do have mine on push to talk, and I do have a key assigned to it. And then I would say for voice chat volume to turn this way down, because I think they start all of these out at 100% or at 100, and they are all very, very loud, including voice chat. You just can't really gauge the volume of some people's mics, especially when it comes to online gameplay. So I highly suggest that you just kind of, test that out and see what works best for you. I found that 30% works just fine. And then controllers, they don't really apply to PC gamers, so I'm not going to go through that, or they don't apply to me. And then account, the only thing I will have to say here is crossplay. You can disable this if you want. It is enabled right now, and I'm going to keep it enabled. I don't mind having it enabled. And then just make sure you have all of this hidden. You don't want your IP address, out there for others to see. And I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or any suggestions for me as far as graphics settings go, please leave them in the comment section down below. I will leave my PC build down below for you guys so you can see what I have as a current build compared to what I'm using for graphics settings. And then I will also leave my Activision username below. Please feel free to add me. I would like to play with you guys. I think it'd be super fun. I'm currently enjoying Call of Duty. I've always enjoyed Call of Duty, and I think this Modern Warfare has been really good so far. I'm really hoping that it doesn't die out and that we can keep the game very active and engaging. So please add me, guys. I would love to play with you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.